Hey again, everybody. So today, I want to kind of talk about a quick thought that I had um, throughout yesterday and today, mostly today. And I was kind of writing about this in my journal earlier. Fridays, I only have one class, so I kind of have a lot of time to just think or, do whatever I want to do, which, I got a solid workout in. I read a little bit, played some games, and just kind of nice chill day. But did feel kind of lazy. Like I could have been doing more. I'm pretty much caught up on homework, but I guess my point is that I had a lot of time to just kind of think and ponder. And I wrote about 3 pages in my journal because I was writing about a. I don't know if this kind of came to my mind because I had heard it from somewhere else, but this is mostly based on just kind of my own thought. And it's the idea that things aren't getting worse, your perspective is just getting old. And so this thought kind of came to me because at least for me personally, um, when things start to go wrong, or even if I have something small that goes wrong, and I have something that doesn't quite go the way that I was expecting it to, or maybe I had too low or too high of expectations going into something. Um, and I start to think, oh, dude, everything is getting worse. And I begin to add that negative thing onto any other, even trivial negative thing that has happened to me, within the past week. And as if trying to prove to myself that things are getting worse. That for whatever reason, I've it's just going downhill, and I neglect to think positively and think of everything that's going better, or things that are fine the way that they are. And so uh, so I kind of thought of how one thing that I've learned, which isn't always easy to apply, and of course with most of these sorts of things, with negativity and positivity, it's so easy to say, but it's so hard to practice. And this especially because um, a perspective shift is kind of a lot to ask for in some situations. Um, and in the more severe negative situations, like the loss of a loved one, or something tragic, something that's completely outside of your control, that's not so much something that is just, oh, well, your perspective is getting old. You just need to shift your mindset and you'll be fine. Like, that's not something that you can just say and wish or look at differently and it will make it different. Um, and so this kind of rule or this moral that I'm saying here doesn't apply to those things. And I want to make that clear because, um, I don't think that there is any way through those things but grief. Um, and so if you are going through something right now that is of that severity, um, it is a painful process, and it really has no instant cure. Whether that's heartbreak or death or disease, things that are outside of you. But I want to focus on the things that are inside of you, the things that are within your control. And so with that, I think those things are the things that can be benefited from this shift in perspective, that those things themselves aren't getting worse. Your perspective on them is getting old. And clearly, the perspective that you currently have with them is not benefiting you. And a shift in that could be what you need to look at it better and to at least not let it get to you as much. And I have certainly felt this recently, especially with kind of the unique time in my school life that I'm in, where I got into the program that I wanted to get into. However, I do not start the actual program itself until the fall because the courses for it don't begin until the fall semester. So even if I wanted to, there's not really any classes right now other than the ones that I need for my minor that I can do right now, which I'm already a class ahead for my minor. So all the classes that I'm taking right now are kind of just things that I have interest in, that I want to kind of have fun with. And it's been fun so far, we have just now finished the second week. But what I've noticed with this perspective shift is that even though I am taking now arguably easier courses than I was last semester, my perspective on school has shifted as I have kind of gone through a lot more personal development, and that the classes and the homework really is about the same workload, but my perspective on school, simply because I guess I'm not attaching the same level of anxiety and stress to it as I would with the classes that are in my program, because I'm a lot more, concerned about that, or that brings a lot more stress with it subconsciously. That I don't feel as much stress for this semester's classes. And I thought that was interesting, that depending on my kind of not so much value that I put on each course, but my perspective on them of, oh yeah, these are just things that I'm doing for fun, that I have personal interest in. For example, I'm taking a creative writing class, which has nothing to do with my game design program. I mean, kind of, I guess, as far as like narrative storytelling goes. But I like writing, and writing is something that I kind of want to do on the side while I do everything else. So that's why I'm taking the course. And so my point is that my perspective on this is not, okay, I have to do this. I have to excel in this. This is determining my future. I'm not attaching all of these other, stressful thought processes to it. This is, okay, I have a passion for writing, and I'm just going to do this because I kind of want to sharpen that skill, maybe meet some people, look for any opportunity that I can have to write better. And in that regard, I don't have as much stress when I think about the course. And so when you are able to almost separate yourself from those things and really bring it into what you want to be doing and what you have to be doing, or rather what you get to be doing, because a good thing to keep in mind is that we don't have to do anything. Nobody holds a gun to our head and tells us that we have to do anything, right? Most things that we do are not dependent on, or our lives are not dependent on. Of course, things like eating and sleeping and all the basic things, those are. But anything outside of that, we are not forced to do. We do not have to do. And so I think when you say I have to do something, it's always better to think I get to do that. And, it's not always easy to get into that mental space of. But that's another example of this perspective shift, that those things aren't getting worse, and you don't have to do them. If you can switch your perspective that you get to do them, or your perspective overall, then it can be easier. And so, obviously this is not a one-size-fits-all answer to everything, but is something that I've noticed that almost on a subconscious level I'm already doing, with the example of my classwork, and that if I can kind of elevate that to a conscious level of that perspective shift, then I think it could be quite empowering and can kind of help when I'm going through stressful things. And it's, always coming down to looking on the bright side of things. And, you know, uh, uh, really, I mean, I talk about girls kind of frequently on this, but, I guess I'm of that age. But this girl that I've been speaking to, I'm seeing her again tomorrow. And, I always hesitate to talk about people that I know in these because, like I'm not gonna mention them by name, but if they ever did find out about the channel and see it, it's I'm not saying anything negative, but kind of what I've been thinking of is like with this girl, I want to know how she feels about me, and everything so far has been good, but I can't quite get that read on her, and so we've already been hanging out a couple weeks. And so I just kind of want to ask her how she feels. And and my perspective now, though, going into it, of course, I'm nervous, because I do like this girl, but I'm also not dependent on it being a acceptance, for me to be happy, or of something of that nature. Um, like I'm not depending on her acceptance or rejection of me, for my own personal benefit or happiness, and that if it was a rejection, things aren't getting worse. I just have to shift my perspective on it, and I would just be glad that I had the opportunity to meet her. So, which is so easy to say right now. I might be saying something different in 2 days. I guess you guys will find out when I upload next. But yeah, so it can just kind of come down to that perspective shift, and that sometimes might just be what you need. So if you are going through something, or you are stressing about something that is coming up, and it is within your control of the mental mindset that you have towards it, and that is causing you anxiety, or discomfort, how can you shift your perspective to lessen that, or to convince yourself once again that you do have control, and that you do control how you feel and how you approach it. So yeah, that's what I've been thinking about. Let me know your thoughts. Also, I just want to throw this in here. I have been thinking about doing a live stream soon. I've been kind of messing around with some settings on OBS and different things. So for those of you who do watch to the end, what's a good time to do that? I know time zones are different based on analytics. Seems like most of you guys watch my stuff around afternoon my time. So if I did stream, I would probably try to shoot for that range, on a Saturday, or a day that I am completely free during that time. So yeah, just kind of wanted to throw that in there, that I do kind of want to do that soon, because I think it would be fun to just kind of sit down, chat with you guys a little bit, for those of you that can join, and just play some Minecraft. So yeah, but that'll be about it for now. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.